guys, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Al, and I'm coming to you today from the Reech offices on Shrewsbury Business Park. That's right, isn't it? It's just called Shrewsbury Business.
It is, yeah.
Right around the corner from me. I said to you, man, I'm right around the corner, literally 5-minute drive. And I'm joined with Rob Hughes and Dina Evans. We're going to do this properly this time. Huge apologies, because we did this over Zoom last time. And, so when I use two things. I use Zoom and StreamYard. And when I switch from one to the other, it resets the settings, and I completely forgot to check the settings. And I recorded on my microphone laptop, which was the far corner of my desk.
Okay.
So I sounded like I was underwater. I tried to fix
worries.
it. So we're doing this live in person. So this is great. I'd love to see these offices. They look fantastic.
Thank you. Good to have you here, and good to see people coming in the offices again, to be honest.
I know there was a while ago when we were like, you can't do that. You can't possibly come into my office. And I wouldn't feel good about asking. But now, from the 17th, they say we can hug and stuff. And I was talking about it on the radio last night, and I was like, well, what if you're not a hugger? And everybody's going to be hugging and stuff. You're going to be the odd one out, like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Just hugging on the street.
Yeah. I love this Reech. I love that because you're one of the brands that stand out in Shrewsbury. Whenever I look at an event or some big thing that's happening on, there's that beautiful pink, the Reech logo. It's fantastic. So I think you guys are awesome. And also, Rob, the fact that I read on your website that you launched this from a box bedroom in 2009.
Absolutely, yeah. Got made redundant in the last kind of financial crisis back in 2009. 1 month's notice. Literally taken my mortgage 2 months before that. Although my boss at the time said it was absolutely fine to buy a house and everything was great. So found myself with lots of bills and no job. So decided to start by myself and set up from a really, really 1 metre square box bedroom in Greenfields.
I love things like that. I mean, I know things that happen quite a bit. Like you hear people, Bill Gates started in a shed or something like that. You hear these stories and it's so fascinating, so inspiring. But I feel like even right now, when people have been locked away, like we've just been talking about the pandemic and lockdown and how things are different. But I heard so many great stories about people that have done that. They've been at home, so why not start a business? So I think now more than ever, the entrepreneurs are coming out of the woodwork. So which means possibly good for you guys, because they'll be like, I need a website.
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's been lots of new businesses that have come and talked to us in the last few months, but also smaller businesses that are now deciding they really need to kick on, and it's a good time to do it, especially with e-commerce and things like that, digitalising themselves, social media. You don't need a massive expensive shop front or anything these days, so I think it's changed perceptions a lot.
Is it wrong? I guess COVID is a horrible thing, right? People died. It's a genuine terrible thing. Businesses have been lost. But do you feel like it may have helped us with technology?
I think so. I think even people that, for example, we had a farrier business in to see us last month. They never used technology because they were just out visiting people. But even those guys have found out what things like Zoom are and stuff. So businesses have had to digitalise. They've had to use technology they've never used before, because otherwise, if they didn't have a social media channel, they've certainly got one now. It has changed in the last year, which is great for us, of course, because our digital services has grown tremendously over the last 12 months.
Everybody wants to be seen, and that was the only place everybody could be seen. We're also joined by you as well, Dina. Thank you very much for joining us. You're the creative director. What's your role? What do you do there?
So I head up the design team here, which is growing and growing. We've got 2 new starters on Monday. So we've got a full design team upstairs, and we work on everything from brand, website design, social media, everything across the business that you see is designed here.
Brand is one of those things. Like, I mean, I've been working on trying to not look foolish for a while with the biscuit, with all the things I've worked on, and when it comes to standing out, it's not easy, is it?
No, it isn't. And we really, really get under the skin of the people that we're working with. We have full discovery sessions. We really understand what their goal is before we even start designing for them. So
nice. And so what's the process then? Say somebody comes in and they're like, oh, I sell milk. I'm a milkman. I'm starting up my own business, for example. What's the process? I walk into the building, and how does it start?
We would invite you in. We'd understand what you did on a day-to-day basis, what your future goals were, where you want to be seen. We would look at your competitors. We'd fully research that before we even started to come up with a brand. And we'd also discuss naming, mission statement, and the values of your business before we even started to design for you.
So the science starts before you even put a pen to paper.
It does, yeah. Definitely.
Nice. And how long have you been doing this for then?
I've been doing it I've been a designer for over 20 years, and I've been with Reech for 6.
Yeah, I read that you 2018 became board of directors. What
I did.
Yeah. So what was that all? How does that happen? How do you I work for the place now. I want to be a big part of it.
I started here in 2015 as a designer. There was just myself and another designer here. We quickly grew, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I started when we had offices sort of out of town. Then we came here. The business started to grow. We took on more people. I then became head of design. I'd always wanted to have my own business. Absolutely loved Reech. And it was sort of a natural progression to want to do that. Rob asked me to join the director team, so I became a shareholder back in 2018. So yeah,
it's really attractive thing then, isn't it? Reech, it just has that kapow, I don't know, X factor, I guess we can call it.
Yeah, we just all work so well as a team, and every single person here matters. From designers, digital marketing, social, everything. So it's just growing and growing.
I think we also massively promote within. So for example, last week Suzanne has now become head of digital here. She came in as a digital marketing manager. Paul, one of our web developers, has been moved up to senior web developer. So we're always trying to grow the team, and that was part of Dina's progression as well. We've recently brought a new director into the business as well, called Zoe, who heads up our client operations team. So we're always trying to get really good people into the business who are going to grow with the company and want to keep growing their own personal objectives as well.
That's great to see, from box room to something personally growing for you, to then give other people the opportunity to grow and build, because everybody wants something to strive for, right?
Yeah.
The next goal. What's up next? I just saw Mark, who I used to work with in Asda. He doesn't mind me mentioning him. I'm sure he doesn't. But to say, when I worked with Mark in Asda, who's one of your photographers, is that what his role is?
Yeah.
He was just starting out in photography. That was his. We'd always see him with a camera in his hand, and to see him walk in and take professional photographs of me here is just phenomenal. I love that. It's great to see people do something with their life,
Absolutely, yeah. Mark's an interesting one, because obviously he studied photography at uni and couldn't get kind of a break, and it's difficult to start by yourself in photography, certainly to make money from it. So it becomes a bit of a lifestyle job then. We were looking for somebody to come and do photography, but also video here, but also animation, and unfortunately Mark ticked all those boxes. So he can be out photographing, he can be editing, he can be creating video.
And he's also just been out
social animations, really varied stuff. So,
and also he's just training. He's doing his drone training at the moment. So it's
drone
another
training.
service we'll be launching.
That's interesting. I mean, I speak to Ben Coates quite a bit, who does Muji's Media.
Yeah.
And he talks about drones. Oh, they're so good, aren't they? Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Shrewsbury's such a great town, especially from the air, to be able to take pictures of. What's the moment when you realised you had something special here with Reech? From the beginning?
That's a difficult question. I guess we started off in up at Battlefield, kind of in shared office space. When we took our first office at Leaton Knowles, which is just past the Westmid Showground in Shrewsbury, and we started employing people, then it was like, okay, this is going to really start to hopefully go somewhere. And then we just continued to grow from there and made a big jump to come to the Shrewsbury Business Park 4 or 5 years ago. So, yeah, I guess when you take on that first or second employee, then it's kind of
real.
It's real and starting to move, rather than just me having to make money by myself to live. It was, oh wow, we've got other mouths to feed. And
is that scary? Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you've got lots of responsibility and extra pressures then. I mean, we're a team of 18 here now, so there's even more pressures. But
Sounds
that's
like it's still growing as well.
and still growing. Yeah, we've got 2 new designers starting next week. But it's because we keep adding more and more services over the years. You need more specialist people to deliver those, and businesses these days want to come somewhere and have all the services delivered under one roof, rather than having to speak with a photographer, speak with a brand designer, speak with a web developer, and it gets all kind.
So you can have an art department, you can have comms, and you can have different parts in the building.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a designer then? Is it someone that's come out of a book and been in university and knows the science, or is it if you've got it, you've got it?
Yeah, I think that the latter. It's always the portfolio you look at. It's really irrelevant. Well, it's not relevant, but if they've been to uni, then great, of course, and qualifications. But if you've been to uni, it doesn't mean that you can still take somebody's vision and design a logo. That's just, you can't teach creativity.
And flair and that passion, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So portfolio is key. Now, if somebody comes here and puts an amazing portfolio on the table, then we'll always look at it, because that's what everything is designed.
I mean, I've worked with graphic designers. Shane Chebsey, who I've worked with on the podcast, we did a show called The Weekly Bazaar together. Okay. And I'm always messing around with logos and designs and posters and lines and things like this. And I design something, and Shane will be like, nah, it's wrong. Like, graphic designers are a nightmare to work with.
Attention to detail is key.
You'd be like, that line's wrong, that colour's wrong, you 2 different fonts there, it's awful. Yeah. Get rid of this, and I'd be like, well, spent an hour doing that, So, I mean, you were a graphic designer to start off with, though. That's what you started off doing, right?
Yeah, my background was design. So when I first set up, I was designing print and brands, but also building websites. I couldn't do that now because the technology's moved on so much, but yeah, my background was design, so I still like to, because these days I'm not involved in the design aspect of the business. I'm more kind of strategy and new business, but having that design background when I first meet new businesses is really important.
It's good to have the right people for the right tools, right? I mean, like, I can speak into this microphone like this. This is what I do, right? This is where you probably see a different version of me now from the one you just walked into, because behind a microphone, I am the best. That's what I do, right? Whereas it comes to setting up websites and building things like this 24-hour podcast challenge, it's like, I've got an idea, let's do this thing. And then everything starts moving. I'm kind of like, I don't know who to speak to. Who do I email? How do I get this? And I'm not very good at managing and structuring things. I can just talk behind a microphone. And luckily, I've been able to put a few people together with a team that can kind of help me with that. And I'm making friends around Shrewsbury, like yourselves, like Pete from Web Orchard. I know, blasphemy to mention him, but he does our website, and he knows. I'd be like, help, please. And it must be the same for you when you're like, I can do design, but I've got a bigger goal. Let's find the right people that I can work with. What was that like as a journey for you?
Interesting, because I used to sign off every piece of design work here, and if somebody else was doing it, it even had to kind of pass through me. Whereas I've sort of let go of that a little bit over the years. Still from a top level, kind of overviewing things. But now it's going, for me personally, it's going to visit new businesses and developing a strategy for them, whether it's design, web, social, whatever. So what excites me and gets me up in the morning is kind of going out, talking with businesses and saying, what are you trying to do? What's the objectives? Are you trying to grow your business, your website inquiries, whatever that is, and then kind of put in a strategy. And then I deliver that to the team here who are brilliant, who, I kind of, they laugh that I throw it over my shoulder and kind of let them crack on with it. But it's obviously handed over, properly, Al. But the team then interpret that and run with it, which is great.
I bet you've had many people come in, like you said, people that have not really used technology to stand up before, that have like, why have I never done this before? How come I've never thought of this? Yeah, that must be nice to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then to take them on that journey is fantastic.
Adina, from a design point of view, things change all the time. Lifestyles change all the time. I mean, like 3 years ago, we wouldn't have even mentioned the fact, we wouldn't even thought about the fact the whole world would just lock down and stop. Yeah. It changes. When it comes to standing out from the crowd, what are the most important factors?
It depends what people's objectives are, but I think for us as a business, what we're really good at is having relationships with our clients and making sure that they move with the times. Mm-hmm. So, if we design them a brand or we've designed them a brochure or website, that we always are 2 steps ahead of them. So, when they're seen within their competitors, they're always moving with the times. And always refreshing what they're doing, because it's really important that nobody just stands still.
How do you keep up with the times then? Because it's hard, isn't it? So much going on, especially when it comes to intergenerational stuff. Because they'll throw an artist at me that's released a song, and I'll be like, who? No, and it's making me. I'm 34. And I feel so old, and I'm not. I'm really not. But like things happened 5 minutes ago. I just don't understand. So how do you have to get some researchers out? Or
we research competitors if we're actually looking at a particular client. But I think when you're creative, you're always looking at what's about all the time, because it's just really important that people don't get left behind.
Brand consistency, I think, is the big thing there. We like to be people's brand guardians. That's how we kind of position ourselves. So if we've developed a brand for somebody, we make sure that is consistently applied through their Facebook, their Instagram, their website, their front shop signage, their van livery, etc. So it's about, as well as keeping with the times, is about making sure that your brand is always visible and it's always presented in the best possible way it can be.
Yeah, I was chatting to some guy. I wasn't chatting about it. He mentioned it to me, and he wouldn't stop talking about it. Talking about Discord. Discord had changed their logo. They changed the color of it and stuff. And people are like flipping out about it. They hate it. They hate it so much because it's new, it's different, but it looks clearer. It's a nicer color, things like that. But
sometimes it's created them a lot of brand awareness, though.
Exactly. People are talking about it, aren't they?
Yeah.
These are important things, aren't they? Does it matter sometimes? You can't just go with the crowd all the time, can you? You've got to go with what's right for you. It must be a gamble, though.
Yeah, it is a gamble. But I mean, we have brands that come in here that are 30, 40 years old, and we say to them, we want to rebrand you. You can imagine, we've had our logo for that long, and it's a challenge. But when we do it successfully, it makes all the difference. You've got to keep a contemporary image out there, because even though you're a traditional brand, say, you're still selling today.
Yeah, you still got to be current.
Absolutely.
And one of my favourite shows that I found recently over the last few weeks is Bar Rescue with John Taffer. It's a bit like Kitchen Nightmare with Gordon Ramsay, but with a guy called John Taffer who runs bars across the world. He's one of the most famous people, and he will come into these restaurants bars that are failing, and change the name and everything of the restaurants. And these people are like, no, don't do that. But they always go on to be really successful. So it pays to listen to the experts, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of pressure though for that. I imagine.
A lot of pressure.
You said it would work and it doesn't.
But it's all about look and feel, isn't it? And if it doesn't catch your eye, especially on social media, imagine flicking through your Facebook, all the stuff that you see. You only stop scrolling when there's something that really catches your eye, and that it's about creating those visual assets then that make people stop and click through.
Yeah, I was looking at my website the other day and I was thinking I need to get some really sexy sort of studio, crisp, clear, white, sort of shiny microphone stuff on my website and stuff, because that's what podcast. When you think of podcasts, that's what you look at.
Well, that's what paints the picture, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's really important. Let's talk about Shrewsbury then and Shropshire, because what companies did you start working with that you still work with today? The people that were there from the beginning. You got any stand out to mind?
Yeah, quite a few actually. People like Prime Save Properties, who are a building company. They've been with us for probably 9 or so years now. Sweeney Hall Hotel up in Oswestry, been with me from the very beginning.
Nice.
There's lots of companies that have stayed around, and we've over the years kept rebranding them and creating new websites for them. So we're still winning lots of new business on a monthly basis, of course, which is great. But it's still fantastic to have those people that started out with us as well.
Have you ever worked anywhere else other than Shrewsbury where you've gone, we don't do that in Shropshire? Yeah?
I've done it. Yeah, I did work over in the States, actually. Back in my sort of graphic design days, I used to design greeting cards and things like that. So, but predominantly I've professionally kind of, when coming back into the UK, worked in and around the county. Shropshire born and bred, love Shrewsbury, love our county town.
I imagine it must be really difficult though in places like London, sort of stand out rat race, that kind of battle. I mean, it must be crazy busy in the big cities,
Absolutely.
congested with companies that are all fighting for that limelight, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And what I always wanted to do here was bring that London, Birmingham, kind of Manchester experience of a marketing agency, but to Shrewsbury.
Yeah, you said that last time you spoke. I'm glad you mentioned that again, because that's really important. Because
it is important.
Shropshire is so unique in how it's it's situated, because you can be in Shrewsbury and then in 5 minutes in the country, or you're not gonna. But it's nice to bring that sort of, because what people will do when they come here, they feel special. They want to be part of something bigger but still in Shropshire.
Yeah, and for Shropshire-based businesses, of which there's some fantastic businesses in Shrewsbury, Telford, and throughout Shropshire, why should they have to go to Birmingham or London or Manchester for a big marketing agency? So to deliver that where we're 10, 20 minutes down the road and deliver all the services that they would want. So that was always the plan, and we've invested in our office and our kind of experience here. Clients come in, they can have a glass of wine or a beer or a coffee or whatever they want. They can sit on the beanbag and use the Wi-Fi all day if that's what they want to do. It's an experience as well as an output.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? You always want to come to a place like this that's got a stock fridge and all these nice coffees and stuff. And the ladies out there were like, "Oh, would you like it? Would you like a?" I was just like, "A glass of water would be fine, thanks."
Well, if this interview was on Friday afternoon, we'd probably be cracking open the beers now. But
you chose the wrong time.
Well, it is technically afternoon now. I'm joking.
Oh, it is actually,
yeah. I mean, I started doing it. I came up with this idea for the 24-hour podcast challenge, and one of the first people I thought of getting involved with was you guys, because I thought, I saw that billboard. I think I spoke to you last time about the billboard in
down at Colham.
Colham, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be amazing just for the 24-hour podcast. You guys know what you're doing, so I was like, I speak to people about, but I don't know the language to speak, whereas you guys do. You must have so many numbnuts like me that was kind of like, I've got an idea, and you're just like, well, what we need to do is a strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
we try and take that out of people's heads and actually try and visualize it or bring it to life.
Yeah. What other roles do you guys? What do you have as a creative director? And what are the kind of things that you deal with? Is
on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. Because I imagine creative director is a huge title for many different things.
It is. I mean, predominantly I used to design pretty much all the time, but I rarely design anything these days. We've got a full team upstairs, and I look after the designer, senior designer, photographer. So I'll do anything from I'll be going through briefs with them. We'll be discussing the clients, the discovery meetings. Obviously, I work with them throughout the design process, so I can give my creative input.
So your day-to-day is you are the peer for the designers.
Yeah.
So.
And to make sure everything that goes out of here is on brand, and it's looking the best that it can look.
There's two films that spring to mind when I think of this, or things. There's Mad Men, which is like, the 70s, 60s, 70s. But I was thinking of What Women Want with Mel Gibson. And he has that line, hate it, this line here's off. Is that kind of what you do?
No, I'm a little bit more constructive than that. Yeah. They probably call me, Mrs. Change It. But it's just, I think, the experience that I've had over the years, or if it depends what we're designing, especially say signage, for example. You might think it looks great on screen, but it has to be a certain size to get the impact. So it's just having that creative eye over everything that goes out.
Does it kind of ruin your life a little bit? Because I imagine you walk around a supermarket and you're like, or you see things in a magazine and you're like, oh, I hate that.
Menus are worse actually if you go out. But
I think as a designer, even when you're going up the M54, you're looking at people's lorries or vans. That's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that brand, or I don't.
Or I wouldn't have done that, or why have they done that? But it's just having that overall look of everything that goes out of here.
It's nice when something pays off, though. I mean, I change the design every year that we do. I do a show called What's the Difference, right? And I want it to be visually good to look at. even though it's an audio podcast. So I created this the backdrop to be black and green, influenced by Dr. Dre's 2001 album, right? So I wanted that, and then the picture in the middle. And we did a focus thing where we sent it away, and people got back to us, and they said that was by far the best design out of everything we do. And I was like, oh, hey, there we go. Look at that. I can do stuff. If somebody was listening now, we get thousands of listeners around the world. If someone was listening to this and was thinking, what they're doing on this talking, but what is Reech? Can we explain what is Reech and what it is you actually do? I think we haven't covered that properly yet.
We position ourselves as a full service marketing agency, and what that essentially means is that for any aspects of marketing that businesses need or require to grow their business, we can help them. So businesses will come in here looking to rebrand or reposition themselves, and there's many reasons why they'll be doing that. Perhaps they're investing in their business, they're trying to sell it, they're building out new services, etc. There's always a fundamental rebrand or brand positioning point. And then from that, we then help them with rolling out that brand. So whether that's brochures or printed materials, signage, livery, new website design and development. So all those kind of fundamental requirements to build the business. And then on an ongoing point of view, we manage people's social media accounts. We provide search engine optimization services, which means that we enhance their Google positioning. We run Google ads for clients. We're a Google approved agency, Google partner agency now, something we're really proud of that we got earlier part of the year. And then also we've got people going out of here on a daily basis capturing content. So that's visual content as in photography and video. We do 3D walkthroughs, kind of everything now really. We're always adding to the services here. So when a business comes here, they can have everything under one roof. So that is Reech, really. I mean, it's
every day must be completely different for you guys.
It is.
Completely different.
That's why it's quite hard to answer when you said, what is your... What do you do?
And across
every
so
day?
many different sectors as well. We work with everyone from the local football club, or we work with Shrewsbury and Telford United, through to food companies,
home developers,
agricultural companies, home builders, people that make things, engineers. It's so varied.
I spoke to Shrewsbury Town and the community yesterday about this idea of the 24-hour podcast challenge, and I was like, is there any chance we can use your... because you've got the Reech community hub there, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, what? It was one email, and they were like, yeah. And I thought I was going to have to go on this massive quest to find a place to sit and do this thing. That's fantastic. It's fascinating that you do all of that here, because you started off in this little room, and now you're doing all of this thing around the world. Do you take on international clients as well? Yeah,
we're working for a company over in the Netherlands at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's predominantly in the Midlands is where we work, because we want people to be able to access us. So although everything's digital these days and we can do lots of things on Zoom, people still want to come in and touch and feel things and be presented to. As good as you can do that over Zoom. So the sweet spot for us really is probably a 2-hour drive of businesses that come here, and they're coming here on a monthly basis. So
yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it's a great place to come. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
It's really nice. What do you guys do? Do designers get writer's block? Can you get
absolutely.
if you do, what do you do to inspire yourself or drag yourself out of that situation?
I think because we've got a team of designers here, that happens probably on a daily basis for a designer, really. As experienced as people are, there'll always be a piece of text that's not working, or they can't find an image to fit, or just can't come up with a creative. The beauty of having 4 or 5 designers is here that they just talk to each other and go, look, really struggling here, any ideas? And they have a little brainstorm in amongst the team. And then with Dina's input as well, and then we tend to kind of push through that. But yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work, so you just do something else and then come back to it the next day.
Case of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, writing it down.
Oh yeah, the shower is the best one. That's where I do all my thinking in the morning. You a little bit of quiet time, and you can come up with ideas.
Yeah. What are you guys working on? Obviously, summer's around the corner. Are you guys working on stuff for summer locally in Shrewsbury?
We are working on lots of things. You mentioned Shrewsbury Town in the community, so doing a lot of work for those guys at the moment in kind of launching their new 4G pitches, etc. We are working with a lot of leisure clients to bring some of their events and things back to market, which they haven't been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking to Love to Stay. I was like, would you like to do a podcast and tell people you're open?
Yeah.
Because you don't automatically think, oh yeah, we can go and stay in a caravan, because even though it was like mentioned, it's not like flashy lights, Vegas, caravans are open, arrows pointing there. You don't quite understand. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. What's the biggest challenges for you on a day to day?
Probably just fitting all our work in that we've got to do. As funny as that sounds, at the moment with things reopening, people are wanting to do lots of different things, lots of different campaigns. Hence our recruitment drive, really. It's so that is a challenge at the moment. Of course, it's always a challenge to continue to market ourselves and remember to do that as well as marketing other people. So Dean and I try and keep a good handle on that, because we like to be seen and like to be out there as an agency, because we've got to be able to show that we're good at marketing our own company to be able to do it for other people. So that's always a challenge as well. But
yeah, I imagine. Do you know, have you got any challenges that you deal with on a day to day?
Probably this. It's the same really. It is just fitting everything in, making sure that everyone's work is done on time and when they need it, because generally our clients have tight deadlines, or they might have forgotten something and they ring up and say, can I have this tomorrow? So it's like spinning plates sometimes, but it's just about getting it all scheduled in. And
recruitment is a challenge at the moment, challenge. Actually. Because,
in what way?
As in, historically, if we put a job post out there, we'd have lots of people applying for it. What COVID has done is people that are in a job and who are in a relatively stable job are just not looking to move, because I think they're concerned over uncertainty in moving. They lose perhaps any rights that they would have had coming into a new business. So people, and I've spoken with lots of recruitment agencies and specialist agencies in our sector, and they've gone, people are just sitting tight at the moment. So when we're trying to find good people who are not necessarily looking for roles, that has been a real challenge for us this year.
Yeah, I imagine that's difficult for it. I mean, I was just talking to someone about well-being in the workplace, and yeah, it's difficult at the moment because there's been so many people that have been so uncertain about how things are going to be. What happens if we go into another lockdown, or, and I'm in between jobs, or I've just started a new job and I can't go to, it's difficult. My wife started a new job during lockdown. She moved jobs, and they sent her out a laptop and a phone, and she hasn't even met the people she works with yet, but she's doing her job well. Is that something you guys struggled with during lockdown? Because obviously people couldn't come here, and how you managed to sort of keep going?
Yeah, we had one or two people join us in the last year in lockdown. One particular person we had to meet her on a dodgy corner and hand over a laptop. So not the normal kind of onboarding process for Reech.
No.
But needs must and everything. And to be honest, they've cracked on and really grown with the business. But there's been so much uncertainty, and I think where people were in a job and they were getting paid, they weren't. They were, even if they were furloughed or whatever, they were still earning the money they needed to kind of live and stuff. Whereas what we're finding now is, as things are opening back up, people are starting to be a little bit more confident again on actually applying for jobs and things. So, we're still looking for one or two people now.
For what roles? If anybody's listening, I want to
get we're looking for marketing. A client marketing manager is something that. So that role is basically managing multiple accounts and coming up with marketing strategy and for probably 10 or 12 clients. It's a really exciting role. So if there's any
podcaster, podcaster,
don't need any podcasters yet. But if there's any good marketing people out there listening and want to grow their career in marketing, then give us a shout.
Yeah, please do. And how can people get in touch with you?
Our website is always the best, or follow us on social media. Just under Reech with 2 E's as well. We spell it REECH.
I made that mistake a couple of times. Well, I kind of find it on Instagram. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we just do it to confuse people.
I mean, I've had this conversation with my manager. He's like, "Oh, you need to," because I work in support, but I kind of move up in my job, and I've chose not to because my job sort of suits me. My hours suit me for what I do. And I said to him, but the thing is, I found my thing now. This is my thing, the microphone. So if I get into a position where I can make money out of it and earn a living doing this, then I'd rather do that. So I'm happy where I am right now. Grass isn't always greener on the other side, are you?
Absolutely,
yeah. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me today. I'm really looking forward to sort of working with you with the 24-hour podcast challenge as well, seeing what ideas we can come up with, because I do feel like you guys are the way forward here. I think you've inspired people as well. This podcast will inspire people. You know, people that are in their bedrooms, like they probably just finished uni or they've got an idea, and you can do it out of a box bedroom and create something big, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So thank you very much for doing that.
No, thank you for having us on.
No, that's great. Well, I really appreciate you doing it a second time. The first time, it was just as good the first time. It was a really good interview, so I'm really gutted about that. But guys, I want to tell you about the 24-hour podcast. I know I mentioned it a few times, but yes, on the 29th of September from 9 a.m, I'm going to hit record, or we're going to go live, and we're not going to stop until 9 a.m. on the 30th of September. It's going to be completely live for 24 hours. We're going to have 12 hours of the biscuit and 12 hours of USUC, US UK. And the idea is to raise as much money as we can for Lincoln Davis. I want to use all the resources that I've gathered around the world over the last few years and funnel them into one place so I can help my community. The idea of doing this is to encourage you guys to go and do it. If you've got a vlog, if you've got a podcast, if you've got a gaming streamer, if you've got anything you can make a noise and bring people together, do something the same, because what's the worst that could happen? You help your community. So you can get in touch with us. If you want to help us, you can get in touch with us. I can't talk today. Via our website, which is www.theshrewsburyBiscuitpodcast.co.uk. And that's made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. I feel bad saying that here in Reach. We love you, Pete White. Thank you so much for doing that.
I thought you were brave.
We like Pete as well.
Pete's great. Thank you for that. And guys, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks.
I'll catch
Nice
you
to
guys
meet you.
next time. Peace out.
Cheers.